Welcome back, dear all. Another video for rational numbers. Our objectives for this video is to write rational numbers as decimals and write decimals as fractions. First, a quick definition for a rational number. What is a rational number? A rational number is a number that can be written as the ratio of two integers. The denominator is not zero. Remember the definition of a ratio. How do we write a ratio? A ratio is written as a fraction of a over b, where a and b are integers and b doesn't equal to zero. So this means that a rational number can be written as a fraction or a ratio. Let's have some examples of ratios. A fraction is, some examples for rational numbers. A fraction is a rational number, so 3 over 4 or 3/4 is a fraction, and it's called a rational number because it is written as a ratio of two integers. 3 and 4 are integers and the denominator is not equal to 0. Also, we can write the fraction as a decimal like this one. Another example for a rational number is the percent. Why is a percent a rational number? Because, for example, if we have 19%, 19% can be written as a fraction or a ratio between two integers, 19 over 100. So in this case, we name it as a rational number. Another example, a decimal. Also, decimals are rational numbers. Why? Because we can write them as a fraction. So we can transform, for example, 0.32, and we can write it as a fraction like this. Another example for rational numbers is mixed numbers. Mixed numbers are also rational because we can write them as improper fraction in this way. In our video, we are going to learn how to write fractions as decimals and decimals as fractions. Let's have a look on the numbers or the sets of numbers. First, we learned the natural numbers. The natural numbers are just any positive numbers without the zero. After the natural numbers, we learned the whole numbers, where the whole numbers are all the natural numbers, and with them we included the zero. So whole numbers are 0 and the natural numbers. After that, we learned the integers. The integers are the natural numbers, positive, and the 0, and all the negative integers. Negative and positive integers are the integers. After the integers, now the rational numbers, and the rational numbers is the set that contains all the other sets. So rational numbers contains fractions, decimals, negative fractions, percents, integers, numbers, and natural numbers. How to write a rational number as a decimal? First, to write a rational number as a decimal, look here. Every rational number can be expressed as a decimal by dividing the numerator by the denominator. The decimal form of a rational number is called a repeating decimal. If the repeating digit is 0, then the decimal is a terminating decimal. Okay, look at these examples. This will show. We have here rational numbers 1 over 2, 2/5, and 5/6. To transform 1 over 2, for example, into a decimal, we divide 1 by 2. We divide 1 divided by 2. And 1 divided by 2 we put here. 1 divided 2, of course, it's 0. 0 times 2, 0. Subtract 1. Put a decimal point with 0 here. Put a decimal point. Now bring down the 0. Now 10 divided 2 equals 5. 5 times 2 is 10, and no remainder. So what is the decimal form for this fraction? It is 0.5. So we write here 0.5 or 5/10. 2/5. Let's make the 2/5, the second example, 2/5. To do this, we divide 2 by 5. 2 divided 5, again 0. 0 times 5, 0. Subtract 2. Now put a decimal point here with 0 and put a decimal point up here. Bring down the 0. 20 divided 5 equals 4. 4 times 5 equals 20. with 0 remainder, so here is 0.4 or 4/10. Now the 5/6, the last one, I will do it here. 5/6. I can do it by dividing 5 by 6. 5 divided 6 again at 0. 0 times 6, 0. Remainder 5. Put a decimal point, and up here decimal point. Bring the 0 down. 50 divided 6 equals 8. 8 times 6 is 48. Subtract. This would be 2. Okay. Now again put another 0. Bring it down. 20 divided by 6 equals 2. 2 times 6 equals 18. It's 3. And 3 times 6 equals 18. Subtract, it's 2. Again, another 0. Again, 20 divided 6 equals 3. Again, 3 times 6, 18. And remainder 2. And as you see, 2 is repeating as a remainder, and of course 3 is repeating in the quotient here. So 0.8333. So we'll put here repeating decimal. It's 0.8333 and so on. So it's not terminating, so it is 0.8333 and 3 continues like this. So here's the answer. So half is 0.5000, and the repeating decimal here, the repeating digit here is 0, so it's just a terminating decimal, 0.5. And also here 0.4000, it's terminating, or it's repeating the 0, so this means it is a terminating decimal, 0.4. The last one, 0.8333, and 3 continues and it does not terminate. Remember, how do we write a repeating decimal? We write it as 0.8, and the 3 is the repeated digit, so I'll just put it, I write it once and I'll put this bar above it, so I can write it in this form. Examples. Write each fraction or mixed number as a decimal. Okay, so how do we write 5/8? So we said that to write a fraction as a decimal, we divide 5 by 8. 5 divided 8 is 0. 0 times 8, 0. Subtract 5. Now put a decimal point here with 0, and of course put a decimal point up here. Bring down the 0. 50 divided 8 equals 6. 6 times 8 is 48. Subtract 2. Another 0. Bring it down. 20 divided 8 equals 2. 2 times 8, 16. Remainder 4. Okay, now put a 0 here. Bring it down. 40 divided 8 equals 5. And 5 times 8 is exactly 40 with no remainder. So the answer for this one is 0.625, and of course it is a terminating decimal, not repeating. Another example, -1 and 2/3. -1 and 2/3 can be written as an improper fraction as negative. 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2, 5/3. So this is the improper fraction. To do this, we divide 5 by 3. 5 divided 3 equals 1. 1 times 3, 3. Remainder 2. Put a 0 here, decimal, and bring it down. 20 divided by 3 equals 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Remainder 2. Put a 0. Bring it down. 20 divided 3 again. It is 6. 6 times 3 is 18, and we are repeating the same process, so 6, 6, 6, 6 is repeating. So the answer here, don't forget to write the negative 1.6 and a bar above it like this. So negative 1.6 repeated is the decimal form for the mixed number -1 and 2/3. Now, how to write decimals as fractions? So this is the other way around. From decimals, we want to write it as fractions. Write 0.45 as a fraction. We know that we can write this as, because we can read this as 45 hundredths. So 0.45 is 45 hundredths. This is the fraction form. And 45 hundredths, we can write it as We can simplify by dividing up and down by what? By 5? Yes. Okay, 45 divided 5 equals 9, and 100 divided 5 equals 20, and of course this is the simplest form for the fraction. Another example, write 0.5 and look here, it is repeated, so this means it's 0.555 and it continues forever. Write it as a fraction in simplest form. Okay, this is somehow different from the first example because we cannot write as 0.5 as 5 over 10 because it's not just 0.5, it's 0.5555 and continuous. So how do we write this, or how do we solve this one? The first step is to assign a variable to the value 0.5 bar. So we assign, for example, let n is the variable, let n equal 0.5555 and so on. After that, perform operations on n to determine its fractional value. So first n equals 0.555 and so on. First we multiply each side by 10 because one digit repeats. Look here, what repeats is the 5. So only 5 repeats. So to make 5, to eliminate it, we multiply by 10 so that we can change the place of the decimal point after the first 5. So it will be 10 times n, or 10n equals 10 times 0.555. And of course, multiplying by 10 moves the decimal point one place to the right. So it will become here. So it's 5.555. So this means that 10n equals 5.555. Still, we have a lot of 5 repeating here. We want to eliminate it. What do? We subtract n equals 0.555 to eliminate the repeating part. So from here we will subtract from it n equals 0.555. So look at this part. 10n equals 5.555 minus n equals 0.555. So this will give us 10n minus n equals 9n, and on the right hand side 5.5 is repeated minus 0.5 is repeated. This will eliminate the part that is repeated here because they are the same, so it will be 0, and 5 minus 0 equals 5. Now 9n equals 5, this is an equation in one variable, multiplication equation, so we divide each side by 9, we will get n equals 5 over 9. So the decimal form of 0.5 repeated can be written as just 5 over 9. Hope you understand the lesson. Please subscribe and like it and leave any comment if any. Thank you, and to the next video. Bye.